Today's podcast is brought to you by HLA Productions. Join the conversation on family law, true crime, and more with your host, me, Heavenly Leanne Akers.
Well, hi. How are we all doing? It is currently 2025 and we are off to a interesting start if I don't say myself. Um we've gone everywhere from TikTok ban to if you approve or not a radical administration. Apparently now, me and my husband don't exist, which that in itself is quite interesting. Um, yeah, no, waking up to that executive order was quite the feeling. But then again, we dealt with this for 4 years, from 2016 all the way up until 2020. So nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, obviously. And it just continues to go and go and go. So as a result, today we're going to talk about something a little bit that I am, partial to after doing ancestry and stuff. Now, by not any means does this, make me qualified to know, but given my research as well as everything that I've looked into, I think that it's worth talking about. I think it's worth having a conversation. And after doing ancestry, I found out that, I was 19% Jewish. And just like any person out there that, if you're part of the LGBT or you are obviously a woman and you see everything that is happening in the United States right now, you in some way, shape, or form feel a little bit of that impact. You feel like, hey, I'm LGBT, or hey, I'm a woman, or hey, I'm trans, and my identity is being brought up for debate. My health care is being brought up for debate, and it makes you feel some type of way. It's not okay in any means. So, but here's the thing though. This is something that a lot of people have brought up, but then very little people, and I'm talking about people that are like mainstream, in power, those that have the means to talk about this. They have a platform. They're not using their platform to make a difference other than to benefit themselves. And those that do have a platform that are talking about this, they're actively being silenced. We're seeing this on TikTok, we're seeing this on Meta, we're seeing this actively happening right now in America. And this is not only extremely worrisome, but it's also extremely concerning. And one of the things the other day that I talked about on TikTok is I brought up, hey, does not anybody see the parallels when it comes to Adolf Hitler and Nazi Germany at that time and what's happening right now with the administration in America after Donald Trump's inauguration? And it's terrifying. And like I said, I'm a little partial to this because I'm 19% Jewish. And I'm also LGBT. My spouse is LGBT. My spouse and I, we have lost a child, and I almost lost my spouse as a result of the abortion laws in Oklahoma. It's terrifying. All of this is terrifying, and it hits home when you know that it's about you. So one of the things that I want to talk about is a little bit of history. So January 30th of 1933, Adolf Hitler is appointed Chancellor of Germany. Now keep this in mind, around this time, he was already, rallying people as far as, white supremacists and those that believed in his radical belief system, if you will, right? And so, of course, once you've been appointed as, Chandler, it's pretty evident, obvious at that point that in order to be appointed into anything governmental wise, governmental wise, you already have to have a following. You already have to have people that believe in you. Okay. So then we come to February 27th of 1933. And at that time, there was a very important figure, a building at that time that had caught on fire. And he used this to his advantage to continue forward with his ideas and his ideology. In March 23rd of 1933, he ended the act that gave Hitler declared power. So at this point, he was given power to pretty much speak widely about everything that he believed in. And then, of course, in April 1st, now this is a key point because this is the parallel of everything that's happening currently in our country. April 1st, okay, like April Fools, wow. April 1st of 1933, nationwide boycott of Jewish businesses begin. So here's my thought, right? We already know that Donald Trump clearly does not like trans people. We clearly know he does not like immigrants. We clearly know he has proven himself to be a fascist. He's proven himself to be racist. He's proven himself in multiple ways to not like a large minority of people. Okay. And one of the things that we can see with that right now is the large deportation effort that is happening in the United States. And with him also trying to invoke the 14th Amendment, which is basically birthright citizenship, this right here allows him because their goal, if you look at it statistically, and you can find this anywhere online, there is only 14 million undocumented immigrants in the United States, and their goal is 20 million immigrants. Okay, how do you make up the difference from the actual number that we have so far, in record, 14 million immigrants, and then make up that number to 20 million? Well, you go after birthright citizenship. Okay. Of all people, I live in Oklahoma. We all know about the Trail of Tears. A lot of our counties here in Oklahoma are named after Native American tribes, and their culture exists very prevalently in Oklahoma. And that's a result of the Trail of Tears. And here's the thing, history, there's a parallel here. History isn't being repeated. History, they are trying to recreate history, and that's my personal opinion. Now, I would love to know your personal opinion, and if you would like to share your opinion, please comment down in the section on YouTube, or you can reach out to me at heavenlyleanne.com, and we can have a conversation. Now, other than that, now here's the thing. I said this the other day on TikTok, and I'll say it again. If he wants to get rid of migrants, but he's also coming after birthright citizenship, what's to stop him from just deporting any person that he sees fit? Because, like I keep telling my spouse is like, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. And a lot of people are saying that, well, you can't do this, you can't do that because there's laws, laws, laws. The Trump administration has already proven to us that they don't care about that. They're doing anything and everything that they want to. Trump's legal battles, as far as him being now a convicted felon with 30 some odd felonies, shows that he does not care about the law. He believes himself to be above the law, which that in itself is very narcissistic. And we've already spoken about that. Now, here's my thing, right? We want to talk about dehumanization. And the process of this, if you're interested in this, because I can literally make an entire podcast about this in itself, but I'm going to sums it up for you. Dehumanization, you can Google it. It's very plain, point blank to the simple. You want to take a group of people that you see as a problem for yourself, either politically or, your personal beliefs or etc. You dehumanize them to take the empathy and compassion out of the surrounding people around you to automatically demonize a portion of people. And by doing so, you can turn around and do exactly what Adolf Hitler did, which is the boycott of Jewish businesses. Okay. By doing so, you convince the masses, just like Donald Trump and the Republican Party did this past election season. They spent $25 million in anti LGBT ads and resources to undermine LGBT support and human rights. So again, the parallels between Adolf Hitler boycotting and dehumanizing Jewish people, and now dehumanizing LGBT and trans people, but specifically trans people, and also, you know, going as far as doing everything possible, right? So the parallel is there. So now, if you're following along and you've gotten to this point, you kind of understand where I'm going. So once that had happened on April 1st of 1933, then we have April 7th of 1933, laws for the restrictions of professional civil services were removed from Jews from governmental positions. So again, what did Hitler do? He turned around, he said, you know what, we're going to remove the restrictions and laws and protections for Jewish people that are in politics. We're going to then remove them. So that way they're no longer in power. They can't speak for themselves. So again, we've seen this already happening with Donald Trump's administration, where he is actively trying to eliminate people so they can't speak for themselves. He's already suggesting this type of behavior against Native Americans, women that currently serve in Congress, the House, the Senate, and etc. We're already seeing this. We're seeing this very blatantly. Like, he's not hiding it. And also keep this in mind. We all know, if you live in America, you may see this on the news, you might see this on social media quite often. We always talk about, oh, the first 90 days, the first 100 days in office, what is the president going to do? It took Adolf Hitler 53 days. Remember that number, 53 days, to turn his entire country from a democracy into a dictatorship. 53 days. 53 days. And all the numbers that I'm reading to you from 1933 goes all the way up to 1935. And it goes on and on all the way up until January 20th, which, funny enough, January 20th was the day that Trump was inaugurated, which also happened to fall on Martin Luther King Day. But this was in the year 1942. And of course, we all know what that was. Now, however, in 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. That was on April 30th. However, my thing is, though, if you are a person that is sitting back, you're watching this right now, my thought is like, if you've been following me, you've been watching me for years, I always have a tendency of kind of going back and forth whenever I say, like, oh, I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about religion. I try my best to stay away from that stuff. And here's why. Because I want to respect everybody's opinion. I want to respect everybody's, belief system. But I also don't want to make people feel a certain way about me that causes you to lose your trust in me as a person, because that is the last thing that I want. But what I do want you to know is that I respect your religious beliefs and your freedoms to do as you please, because, again, we live in a quote unquote free country. And I, as a person, I respect everybody's given right. However, there is not a but to that situation. That still stands. However, as a person that has children and is part of the LGBT and has a transgendered husband, my goal is to protect my children, my spouse, and my rights, right? And my thought about this whole entire thing is that if you can sit here and say, well, this is right, this is right, this is right, but this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong. America was supposed to be a melting pot. And we can get into like the nitty gritty of like everything, but like the thought is that America was based on the fact that our ancestors or our people came from a whole different country to come to America to build the land of the free, freedom of religion, freedom of prosecution, etc. And now here we are in a country where we are boxing ourselves in from the very thing that we left, right? So again, it's scary because how did this happen? How did we not see this happening? Okay. One of the things that I like to think about is like Handmaid's Tale, right? Now, my thought is that America wasn't Germany until it was. And if you're a person that lives in Germany, I completely I understand your history, and I know that you guys are not proud of your history, and that is very blatantly obvious because any person that I've either spoken to or have talked to or have watched on either TikTok or any type of social media or read your history, most of you guys have laws preventing the very thing that Elon Musk did on national TV. Okay? And so it's scary. It really is. And I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that, but like I really need you guys to kind of sit back and think to yourself, what side of history are you going to be on? Because with me, I'm going to call my state representatives. I'm going to start emailing. I'm going to start sending very detailed messages and emails, and I'm going to start actively being an activist about this because nothing's ever going to change if you're not that change. Are you going to be that change today? And that's what I remember every single day. And that's exactly who I want to be, is I want to be that change in the world. And I have tried to do that over the years on my platform by allowing people to be who they are and actively support people in their endeavors. Because like I tell my children every single day, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, you can be whoever you want and you can do whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else. And that's something that just like I believe a bishop tried to tell Donald Trump during you know, in a church, hey, please show mercy to these individuals, to the immigrants, the LGBT, and the people that are currently afraid of your administration because of what you stand for. And that inherently irritated him because he's being called out on national TV in front of a ministry of people. I mean, if that's not the most amazing thing that I've ever seen in my entire life, is seeing a bishop on national TV telling a radical president, hey, please show mercy. If you are a man of faith, you say that you're a man of faith, show mercy. And he did not like that. From right now, as far as I can see, as far as the reports go, he has made such comments that basically the sermon was not good, that she is not a person of faith, and that she needs to be deported. And like I said before, if it's not him trying to deport the migrants or immigrants, what's to stop him from trying to deport anybody else? So if there's anything, before I end this podcast, if there's anything that I hope that you take from this, because this podcast was a little half-assed, but at the same time, I've been needing to sit down and talk about it because it's been bothering me. And hopefully somebody will take something from this and listen to it, and we'll go from there. But other than that, I hope that you guys liked today's podcast. If you did, please like and share, comment down below, and give me a 5-star rating. If not, give me a 1-star. That's perfectly fine. Anyways, I love you all, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ta-ta.